All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Keith Datu, and you are listening to, or watching if you're on YouTube, my podcast, Beyond the Painted Lines. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Keith Datu, KeithDA2. All my links to the podcast, vlog, my music, all this other good stuff I'll have in the description below. So today I want to talk about something that's really important to me, and that is giving value to others. The reason why this topic is important to me is because I have so many role models and so many great people in my life who are giving me their time, giving me their attention, giving me gems that have seriously helped me grow in my self-development, my basketball career, so many other things in life. So as you know, I'm living in the Philippines right now, playing basketball overseas. I'm originally from California. Before I finally moved here, I was living in Los Angeles. But I felt that the mission for most people, when you're out networking and talking, it's always about getting ahead, trying to open the door for yourself, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I want to discuss how we can be good role models. You know, I like to reiterate that, no, I'm not an expert. I always try to do my best, and I realize that, you know, whether the spotlight is on me or not, I'm always setting an example. You are always setting an example. Someone's always watching you, seeing what you're doing. Whether you have 1 million followers and you're on TV, or whether you don't even use social media, right? There's always an opportunity to be kind, show compassion, all that good stuff. All right. So let me get back to my notes here. Let's talk about the 3 subtopics that I wanted to cover today, right? I think they cover endless possibilities of how we can give value to others. Let's talk about those 3. Financially, physically, and then I'm grouping mentally and spiritually together. These are our 3 subtopics that I want to discuss on how we can give value to others and why, right? So what you give is what you get in return. You know, like I said, are you being genuine and kind? You become the product of your environment. You become who you hang out with. The goals and the accomplishments, the role models you look up to, right? Eventually, you do become them. Whether you make the same amount of money as them or the same amount of fame, you become them inside, within you. So the more of what you give, the more of the same will come back to you, right? Let's talk about how we can give value to others, right? Financially, physically, and mentally or spiritually. So financially, this doesn't always mean that you have to give money, right? That's not the only value you can give to others financially. You can give your knowledge, right? You can put people on. You can make connections, not only for yourself, but for other people. Creating social capitalism, right, for others will also expand your network. Let me use a personal story here. I had a friend tell me about the stock market, right? A recent stock that they've decided to invest into, right? This is not financial advice by any means. I actually don't recommend, like, if someone tells you about a stock, I don't recommend you just go buy the stock either. I listened to what my friend had to tell me about the stock. Then I did my own research, started with the Google, and then you can go on your like Robinhoods and, you know, research if this is something that is a good investment for you or not, whether you put $1 down or $10,000 down, right? I would recommend you do your research anytime you buy or sell any kind of asset. And I ended up putting some money into the stock. I ended up investing into it not too long ago, but the stock actually started booming a little bit. Now my portfolio is growing. So financially, what this person gave to me wasn't money, but it was knowledge. You know, you don't have to give them advice. You don't have to force their hand and tell them like, look, you need to be doing this, but you can always give your value and your personal story, your personal experiences to someone else in this way. All right. So our second subtopic now, physically, how can we give value to others physically? I think the easiest example is showing up for others. Sometimes other people have tasks that they need to do. I have a friend on a weight loss journey. In order for them to exercise, sometimes they need a partner. Sometimes they need someone to go on a walk with them. One of the best ways that you can give your value to others is by going out and walking with them. There might be times where you don't feel like helping out or giving your time to other people. You should do it out of love and out of kindness. I don't think you should ever do something with an expectation of something in return. Unless it's your job, right? Obviously, you're going to be compensated for your work, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Another way that you can give value physically is by creating content. That is my mission, is to give value to you. Yeah, it's nice that I can document like my journey. My overall goal, especially for this podcast, especially for this segment of my content creation, is to give value, to give what's on my mind so that maybe it can help you further wherever you are in your life. I think you should share your life experiences with other people because those same people might be going through the same things that you might be going through. Sometimes your story can really help someone else. Sometimes we vent. It's a way of reflection on ourselves, but also the people that are listening are also absorbing what you're sharing to them. So other ways you can give value to other people physically, offering your time, offering your assistance, your help, your hands, right? You can even volunteer. I think those are all great ways to give your value to other people physically. All right, so moving on to our third one, I have them grouped together mentally and spiritually. The first one, mentally or spiritually, is mentoring and guidance. I have tons of people in my life who I look up to, tons of role models, even people like my own age, there's tons of people older than me, but I have a few peers that I even look up to as well. And look, these people can be anybody. But the example that I want to share is my high school coach, actually, Coach Tom Mott. And if you know me, you probably know Coach Mott as well. But he is someone who has greatly shaped me into the person who I am today. So Coach Mott is someone who I am very grateful for. He was my high school basketball coach. He is one of those people who, if you need help with anything, he is there. He's always one phone call away. And growing up, he would give me rides to school, to and from games, practice, whatever. We would have deep talks, and he's someone who, went above and beyond to shape my basketball career first, but also I looked at him as a father figure. Right? He also shaped my character, allowed me to become who I am today. He has entrusted me with a lot of responsibilities. I've flown overseas with him before with a group of other athletes. Just recently, this year, just a few months ago, actually, when I was still playing 3x3, PBA 3x3, during my time on Wilcon Depot, he was actually traveling during the summer. And he visited the Philippines for the first time. And he came to watch me play over here in the Philippines. The fact that he made the effort to come all this way to see me and sightsee, of course, right? I just feel so blessed to have those people in my life, those mentors, those coaches. And to this day, we still talk often. We message, and we share life experiences with each other. We talk about family. We talk about work, as in basketball and careers and, beyond basketball, right? We talk about mental health. It's important to have these people in your life that you look up to. They will not only guide you in the part of your life, the part of your story where you only think they're relevant. They're going to show up throughout your entire life. I met Coach Mott when I was only 13 years old, and I'm turning 28 in a few months. And it's been 15 years and he is still the same role model. He is still the same amazing person in my life. Another example that I want to share. So when I worked as a personal trainer in Beverly Hills, one of my clients, her name was Andrea. We would actually have Zoom calls as her online training, right? So I would be in the gym setting, and we would do the workout on Zoom because she was still signed up for coaching. But she was in her office, or she was at home. She would do it remotely. Anyways, it's important to know the people that you work with as well. She has given me many book recommendations, 3 or 4 that are on my shelf here in the Philippines. I don't have all my books with me overseas, but a few of them over here are her recommendations. They have been life-changing for me. Not every book on my shelf, not every book that I read, I can say has been life-changing, but a few of them that she has recommended for me have definitely shaped and catered towards my career path and my self-growth and self-development. I guess you could also argue this could be giving value physically if you physically give them the book. What other ways can we continue to give value to others? We can have deep conversations and late night talks, and this can be with anybody, right? A family member, a significant other, your best friend. And so maybe you sharing your story can also help them with their lives as well. Spiritually, on another note that I wanted to add, spiritually, as a Christian, sharing the word of God is ultimately our duty. I've had people attempt to read my horoscopes, like our zodiac signs, right? I'm a Pisces, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Not that I keep up with it. I've even had people give me crystals before as gifts. I just have to share that it's nothing like what the Holy Spirit gives me. It's nothing like the feeling I get from God. Just full transparency. I'm not even trying to preach. What I found that touches my soul is God, is going to church, being with the community, and having Bible study, feeling that rush of emotion. I haven't experienced anything else that gives me the same kind of high, I would call it. I don't worship crystals, and I don't keep up with zodiac signs like that. But, I just wanted to share that people have shared with me their spiritual experiences. I absolutely encourage you to find a church, find a community, find a small group, ways that you can enhance your faith. My last couple notes here on this topic, I was reading From Poverty to Power earlier today by James Allen. One of the quotes that he said was, "We attract to ourselves that which we send forth." We attract to ourselves that which we send forth. So that which we send forth, right? Whatever we're giving off, the energies that we're giving off, whether that's kindness and compassion and authenticity, or, the opposite. If you're being dishonest, if you're not being kind, you attract to yourself that which you send forth. What you give, you will get back in return. The value or lack of value that I'm giving to you is going to come back to me. Another book by James Allen is As a Man Thinketh. We are what we think. We become what we think. What we do starts with how we think. There's a lot of power in thinking, right? We don't want to overthink, but there's a lot of power in thinking. Things that you think to yourself is ultimately what you become, who you become. So when you think good thoughts and you give that positivity to other people, you can be sure to expect that to come back to you and vice versa. There are tons of ways that you can come up with giving value to others that I didn't share today. So I'd love to share your thoughts. What are some ways that you think you can give value to others? Write them down in the comments, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear your thoughts. With these conversations, I'm hoping to bring value to you. I can't solely make content for my own personal gain. And if I do, then what's the point of posting it for the world to see? So I can be selfish, so I can gain following for myself? That's not the goal here. The goal for me is to share my experiences and hoping that it gives you value. Thank you so much for listening or watching episode 2 of Beyond the Painted Lines. Again, I am Keith Datu, and I will see you next time.